it's me. Let's continue this. Let's continue this 3D project of mine. I gotta figure out a better intro. Let's continue this. Sounds kind of, especially if you're new to this. You're like, who the hell is this guy? What are we continuing? I should probably open it up better by saying like, today I'm working on this 3D. I don't know. I don't really care about the intros. If you're wondering what I'm doing, who I am, well, don't worry about it. No, if you're wondering what this is all about, this is I'm like struggling to understand why this is not looking the way I want it to look. Basically, how do I put this? This is my 3D model pack. I don't know why it's. Oh, I know why. Sorry, I'm ruining my own intro. But yeah, there we go. I'm working on a 3D asset pack for game development, for 3D hobbyists or 3D generalists, whoever, I don't know, whoever's interested in this stuff. I have been working on this for almost a year at this point, I think. Yeah, coming up on a year, I think, but that's okay. I mean, there's no real timeline to this. These assets are made with game development in mind, so I try to I try to be mindful of the real professional. I try to be mindful of the polygon count, and I try to create these textures using 128 by 128 texture size, so it's relatively small. And recently I've been learning how to do trim sheets to give a little bit more detail to the model. So a real quick example I can give are on these pillars here. Is this thing on? Yeah, it's on. So if you'll just take a look at this, it's really oh man, I just messed that up. It's really uniform, right? Single color, and it looks cool, looks fine, but this is a better example of using trim sheets where I have multiple materials mapped to one object, so it gives it a little bit more, I don't know, variety. So anyway, as of now, I've been working on these sections here, these modular sections. So my fence, gates, and rails, kind of a weird category, but I'm breaking it up into like metal, stone, and wood. That's the plan. So I figured rather than getting worried too much about the nitty gritty, what the texture size, how to do the trim sheets, I figured I would just model them out and then worry about that later. So I am trying to make these as modular as I can. So they will be broken up into like straight pieces, corner pieces, but yeah, again, I'm like struggling to think and show you what I'm doing, but I'm trying to make them relatively modular. And okay, well, I just just pretend I'm making it modular. Like I have no idea why it's doing that, but yeah, only it's backwards, but whatever. Anyway, like, yeah. So I don't know, it's a lot of work. I'm still kind of new to this, even though I've been doing this for a while now, but hey, I'm learning as I go, right? So I'm bound to make little mistakes, and I just, yeah, I don't know. I'm really not good at advertising this whole thing. Probably because it's not even done yet. But what I am advertising is, I gotta be real with you. I hate that shit. Like, I'm not like a businessman. I'm not like an advertising kind of guy. I'm just me. I'm just a guy. So what I do want to show you before I begin working and shut up is this previous pack that I've worked on that I can show you here. So this previous pack is a nature themed pack, and I made a little demo for it. It doesn't look that, like, yeah, it looks something more like that, animated textures. But yeah, if you're interested in nature assets, like what do I got here? If you're interested in like mushrooms, flowers, grass, bushes, logs, trees, stumps, or even these little prefabs I made. You know, that's kind of what I plan to do for the dungeon pack here. But that's still quite a bit of ways, right? Like, let me be real with you. Like, this dungeon stuff is completely new to me. Like, I am not a dungeon crawling guy, but you know, I figured it'd be a fun challenge to do. So I didn't think it'd take me this long, but you know, I'm really, yeah, like I am obsessed with nature. So doing all this was kind of just didn't really have to think too hard about it. Quite a bit of thought went into it, but it's I didn't have to make it modular. I just had to make like 9 mushrooms, 9 grass, 9 stumps, 9 logs. So anyway, if you want to get that, you can get that off my itch page, which is linked in the chat. Yeah, you can get that. It comes in 3 versions: the free version to test it out, the paid version where you get all the assets, and then the last version is actually the source file where you get this little demo scene that I made. So, like, yeah, I'm struggling to advertise this damn thing. Yeah, so it comes with a bunch of particle systems, as you can see here. Like, it's a blend file, right? So these particle systems allow you to weight paint all these different assets on, and it also comes with a asset browser, which is not here, which is fine, but it basically it works like this. Like, you just take an object and drag and drop them in, kind of thing. But if you don't want to do that, then you could weight paint. And let me see if I can just show you. It's been a while since I've done this, but yeah. Well, maybe, yeah, there we go. So something like that. It's not gonna look that horrible, but I don't know, maybe you want trees. Okay, yeah, it's pretty horrible. But anyway, that's the basic idea. You can paint them on, or you can drag and drop. That's what the final, the last tier, the third tier. Oh shit. we'll just pretend this never happened. So yeah, if you want that, I know that's not, like I said, I'm not an advertising guy, but if you want that, if you want to demo it and play around with it, feel free. You can hit up my itch. You can hit up my Discord. That's if you want to keep up to date with these assets. I'd post little updates and tunes that I work on. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join. Otherwise, I'm gonna shut my mouth finally and get to work. But no, like for real, I have like a list of assets that I want to make. And I'll be the first to admit, like, I don't think you would find this kind of wooden lattice thing in a dungeon, but at this point, I don't care. I'm just gonna keep making these. Like, look, I took a lot of time to just fucking compile all these images and make notes and stuff, so I'm gonna do that. So I'm just gonna continue down my list. If it's not part of the, if it doesn't fit with a dungeon, then that's not my problem. Oh, Derek Brown, you're a champ. Keep it up. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, enough advertising, enough of the BS. I'm just gonna... Can we see your reference board? I can't bring it up on... Yeah, it's a Trello board, but maybe I'll take a screenshot or something of it. But yeah, I don't know. It's gone on too long. It's gone on too long. I'll post it for sure. I'll figure out a way to show it proper next time. But yeah, it's not much, to be honest. It's just kind of like pillars, walls, gates, and they're all broken down into like these 3 categories: wood, stone, metal. So anyway, enough rambling. I'm gonna, unless there's more questions, for sure. If you guys want to talk, like, for sure. But I'm just gonna play this ambient noise. This it's from Majora's Mask. Stock bought in. It's a 10-hour loop, so I'm gonna put that on in the background. I'm gonna mute the mic unless we want to keep chatting, and I'm just gonna get to it and keep working on this. So let's begin. Yeah, I gotta get to work, man. All good though. You want to chat? Feel free to chat. I'm just trying to gonna zone out and do my thing, but yeah, no, it's all good. Man, is this a lot of work though? Like, this is a lot more work than what I'm used to. But hey, you know, it's a learning experience. At least that's what I keep telling myself to keep myself sane, right? All right, for real. I'm gonna mute the mic and just get to work. I caught your channel a few months ago, I think when I was starting to learn Blender. You're still working on the dungeon. I get it. It takes me like 4 to 8 hours to make a PSX style model. Yo, it takes me like 3 hours, dog, to do like a few models. You know what I mean? That's just how it is, man. You just gotta put in the time. I mean, there's no other way around it. In my opinion. I mean, maybe there is a way around it, and I haven't discovered it yet. But yeah, no, that's dope, man. Like, it's cool that, you know, that you're learning Blender. You know, I hope you have a lot of fun with it. You know, I hope you learn a lot with it. I was gonna ask, by the way, what kind of PSX style models do you do? Like horror themed, or like any certain theme you got, or what? I'm making a game set in a late 1800s coal mining town in the middle of a blizzard where everyone has mysteriously gone missing. Oh shit. Man, that sounds interesting. You have like a direction for like kind of models you want to make. You don't just kind of half-ass it like me. No, that's dope, man. That's honestly dope, man. Like, are you gonna make a game out of it or what? So I'm modeling all the buildings and interior and exterior props and now working on a first person view model, hands and a lantern. Damn, man, that's a lot of work. That's dope. Are you using, well, you said you just started learning like Blender, isn't it? Or do you have like any previous 3D like experience? Yeah, I'm making a game, planning to release it for free. That's sick, man. If you don't mind me asking, what game engine are you doing it in? Or are you making your own? I tried making 3D models for Warcraft 3 maps way back, but didn't really get anywhere. I'm really excited about making my own 3D world, so I just jumped right in. Oh, you're using Unity. Hey man, that's dope, man. Like I keep saying that, but like that honestly, that's sick though, man. Like I like that you just kind of just jump right into it, just because it, it interests you. And honestly, the fact that you're excited about it that's the key, man. That's how you that's how you stay consistent. Oh no, not consistent, but you just if it's not fun, it's probably not worth doing, right? Or I don't know. I guess a lot of people have different opinions on that, but honestly, like for real, like that's kind of what I'm doing too. Like I just do this because it's fun, right? I mean, I'll admit there's times where it can get a little dry, a little bit boring, but in my honest opinion though, man, like if you follow what's fun, what's fun for you, then I think you'll make something decent, something that satisfies you. I think that's something worth pursuing. But yeah, honestly, I'm kind of like I did try to learn Blender like all like I don't know back in like 2016 or so, but I gave up way too quickly. Like none of this made any sense to me. But just slowly, bit by bit, come back to it, and I'm using the 3D modeling skills to help my girlfriend with cosplay now too, and we've 3D printed a few models I've made for fun. Oh, that is sick. So you have you can actually physically print the models you make. Yeah, I gotta try that sometime. Yeah, I've been thinking maybe I should, I don't know, I feel like I get into too many, I feel like I have too many hobbies going on right now, but 3D printing for sure is something I wanted to try out because it would be pretty sick, like I'm not gonna lie. It would be pretty sick to see your own models in real life, not just on a screen. What kind of... Oh, you said you were doing Warcraft 3 maps, hey? Damn. Oh, you started with the donut tutorial too, hey? Yeah, dude, like, yeah, you get it, man. You get it. Like, you started with the donut tutorial, and then you made a model of your dog, which is honestly kind of cool. All I've ever done is like just weird stuff like this. And yeah, it would be kind of cool. Like, I mean, I don't imagine a lot of people would like the or use the nature pack I made, you know. But yeah, for sure, like a dungeon pack, print it out, and like make a tabletop kind of set out of it. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe when I'm done this pack finally, then I'll probably take a step back from all the 3D and try to make it into a game. I'm kind of feeling like it'd be something fun to do. But again, I'm not really committed to it just yet. Just an idea I had floating around. How you liking Blender so far? Do you find it to be I don't know, like tedious, enjoyable? I've honestly only used Blender. Like I used to play that Dreams game like on PS4, but that's more like sculpting, I guess you would say, but that was a fun game. Oh yeah, you like it? Yeah. Oh, you use it for basic video editing? What? Damn. I've only used I used to use the Cyber Director Pro thing like on my phone back in the day, but yeah, I only use DaVinci for DaVinci Resolve for video editing. But yeah, I agree. Once you know the hotkeys, like it becomes like second, I wouldn't say like second nature, but like I'm not that experienced in it, but it definitely becomes a lot more smoother as opposed to like like grabbing gadgets and moving like individually. I mean, if people do that, hey, whatever works for you, right? But for me, I need hotkeys. It's just like it's like a muscle memory thing, you know what I mean? I think that's what it is for me. What kind of videos do you make? Like, what kind of video editing do you do? And in Blender too. Like, that's insane, man. I don't mean that in like a disrespectful man. I mean like that's fucking sick. You have an oversized mouse pad, hey? With a wireframe Suzanne and most of the common hotkeys. Oh shit, that's a really good idea, actually. That's a really good idea. So it's always like in front of you. What do I use? I only use like grab, scale, inset, extrude. Those are basically the ones I use, to be honest. Like, But yeah, I guess you printed out that wireframe head. Damn, I want a 3D printer now. You're a software developer and you use it to make demo videos at work. It's a lot more entertaining for the people watching, and nobody likes live presenting anyways. Hey, I feel that. I feel that. Honestly, I feel like my streams can be kind of dry and boring. Like usually I'm like silent and there's like weird Zelda ambience in the background, but no, I definitely feel you. Oh, just slideshows with some, you crack some jokes on them, hey? Okay, all good, all good. Is that only for like work stuff, or did you do it as like a YouTube kind of thing too? Just for work so far. Got inspired by working with someone else who had video editing experience. But hey, you're having fun, like damn, maybe I should publish. Hey man, you do what you gotta do, right? Do whatever's fun for you and just never forget. I don't know, that sounds so cheesy, but legit, that's honestly why I've lasted so long in my own stuff. Just, I do it for me. But yeah, no, I mean, if you got the chops for it, I mean, you don't really need the chops to make YouTube videos, but sounds like you got some experience under your belt, so I don't know. I don't know you, you don't know me, but I would recommend getting into YouTube or just throwing up some videos and sharing them with people. And before you know it, you might even start a little community, and you'll have people chatting you up on live streams and stuff. But no, that's dope, man. That's dope. Honestly, YouTube can be a lot of fun too, like in my opinion. Like I actually enjoy just, I don't know, talking to people, or like learning more about other, I don't know how to describe it. It's like people are just so different from what I'm used to, you know what I mean? Like my point of view is my own, right? I'm so used to it that when you meet someone else, there's like, oh yeah, I do, I don't know, I make music and then it sounds like this. It's like, oh man, that's so cool. Like you don't really find that in I don't know how to describe it. You don't really find that in the wild, I guess. But I guess technically I do, because that is I don't know, I'm just fucking tripping myself up for no reason. Alright, I think that's good enough. This weird looking fence. And like honestly, like I have no idea if you would find something like this in a dungeon, but like I said at the beginning, it's like I honestly stopped caring. I'm just I'm just gonna make stuff and then see if it fits in the dungeon or not, but I hate your Blender theme, but I also everybody says that, dog. Like I don't know why people are like it looks different or it looks retro. Like look, blue, black, orange, can't go wrong with those colors, all right? Like I don't give a shit when anyone says like I But no, I honestly like the reason I did this is because like if I'm spending 2-3 hours in Blender, I can't stare at the fucking default gray screen. I mean, it's not bad. Like it's not bad at all, but I'm weird, you know what I mean? Like I'm weird like that. I kind of have to have like a custom theme of for my own liking for me to stick with it. Like look, let me show you something real quick. Like this, I had to do like a custom theme for my FL Studio. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise I couldn't work with it. It's too. There's nothing wrong with the default. There's something wrong with me that like I have a problem, but I don't know. The colors don't look nice, or it just doesn't. Again, it's all about the aesthetic for me. If I'm gonna spend hours in this program, I want it to look pleasing to me, you know what I mean? But yeah, go back to Blender. Yeah, back to Blender. This isn't an FL stream. Alright, I think I can cheat on this next model I'm gonna do. Hey, you respect it. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I'm just weird like that, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with the defaults or anything like that, but yeah, I just can't stand it. Like, oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, it's a weird question because I don't really know what software development entails, but like, is that like, were you like making games? Were you making like tools? Were you like planning to take over the world or something? Like like what does a software developer do? Like I know it you develop software, but like, and if it's proprietary, like you know, if it's if you keep it under wraps, then yeah, all good. You know, I don't need to know that, but. I don't know. I always thought software development was kind of cool, but I see it from like a perspective of like developing games. I guess I don't know if that's the same title or if that's like the same line of work, but yeah, I don't know. Right. Okay, I'm gonna try and cheat with this one. Okay, I'll just start with the posts here. This might sound strange. Oh, do a bunch of stuff. I have a full-time job and a couple of contracts, and I'm programming my game. Well, okay, not really at the moment because I have so much other work. Bro, I totally get that. Yeah, that's dope though, man. That you have like you have like your own contracts and stuff like that. But yeah, honestly, like I used to think like, cause like my only background in game dev is like playing around that Dreams game, and that's all like node based coding. Well, yeah, but you're doing it all the work. So I'm doing all the work so I can fund time working on the game. Or in a few, man, I respect that for real, man. I really respect that. Gotta put in the time. Gotta do the the stuff you don't really want to do to make time and I guess money for the stuff you really want to do, right? No, I totally get that. It's not easy. Like to be straight with you, like doing what you're doing is not easy. I imagine you probably make a lot of sacrifices for that. Like I don't know. I don't really like to make assumptions about people, but I imagine it's like, do I sit down and watch TV or do I just chip away at my little project? You know what I mean? Like I totally get that. And hey man, like best of luck to you, man. Like I really hope you get the time that you're looking for, and I hope you achieve that. You know what I mean? Because I sincerely respect someone who puts in the time, grinds it out, all for them, not for themselves, but to put themselves in a better situation. You know what I mean? But it only comes with just perseverance and hard work. There's no shortcuts to this stuff. But yeah, like I was saying before, I've only worked in that Dreams game, so that's all like node-based programming. So I used to think it was like, oh, it can't be that hard to learn how to code, but when I hit Godot, I'm like, holy shit, this is difficult. Not difficult, it's just different. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a wake-up call. I'm like, yeah, you can't just shit around in Dreams and then act like you know what you're doing when it comes to game dev. The full-time job, I make websites for an Audible competitor. One of the contracts is a 3D tombstone designer software, and another is a radio tower factory scheduler. Damn, that's fucking sick, man. I guess your contract work could be like any line of work then, or like any. Yeah, that's cool. That's actually really cool. And I hope I don't come off as like mocking or anything, because I sincerely mean it. Like that is fucking sick, man. Oh, I know what I'll do with this. I'll cheat. And that looks terrible. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like software development. I get exposed to so many different industries. Legit, legit. And like, I hate to say it, but like because I'm not like I said at the beginning, like I'm not really like a networking or like advertising kind of guy, but I do see that as like a really good way to network with people. You know what I mean? So props to you, man. That's sick. Like that's such an overused word, but no, legit. Props to you, man. Like I'm a bit of a jack of all trades to a fault. I just like learning new stuff, bro. I feel you. I totally feel you on that. Like that's kind of what keeps me going too. You know what I mean? Like just the pursuit of knowledge is like what is what drives me to do the things I do. To be completely honest with you, nothing is more satisfying than like learning something new, practicing it for, you know, hours and hours and hours, and then finally applying it, and then realizing like you completely took this on yourself, you learned a new skill, and it may or may not have paid off, but you know, it's something you can put in your toolbox. No, I'm always for like, you know, learning new things and bettering yourself like that for sure. The pursuit of knowledge will take you very far. You know, you'll go many places like that. And this is not exactly what I had in mind for this lattice, but I'm just gonna call it a feature, not a bug. Let's put it that way. This is a feature, not a bug. Yeah, it looks like ass. Okay, I gotta fix this properly. Maybe I should just redo the lattice thing. Can't be that hard. Actually, it was really hard. I'm not gonna redo that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, this lattice stuff is, like, a bit overkill, I would say, but I really don't want to remake it, because, like, that shit was really difficult. The ground a bit. You creating assets for an environment? Yeah, I can show you the little demo I have here. So, oh wait, that's someone else, Sunny Kumar. What's good, bro? It's good. It's kind of like an Iron Gate now. Yeah, I'm making I'll just show you a quick demo scene. Just give me one sec. So like, yes, I'm creating assets for like an environment, like a dungeon themed environment. And this is my little demo area that I use to test out the assets. This is not a game, like it looks like one, you know, it's modeled and textured like one, but it's just 3D models for now. So yeah, I have like this little demo scene that I made, and I did a bunch of different camera angles just to get a feel for it. And I made a little pixelated effect just for fun, but that doesn't really help sell the model. Like, it doesn't really do anything. And I did like this 2D scenario. I don't know why this is so laggy, but I don't know. I did this 2D scenario, yeah. And then finally like this top-down thing. And I can show you while I'm here. I'll just show you real quick. Let me go to my FPS camera. So like these models actually react to the lighting, and they have like little bump mapping on them. So a better example would be like this. It looks better in like some other videos. It looks a lot better. I don't know why it looks so bland right now, but yeah, that's the general idea. Like it. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a dungeon themed area, like a dungeon pack is what I was kind of working on. Oh, so how did you generate your normal maps? Oh, I can show you a quick example. So I'll take, I'll just take any object, I guess. I'll just take, just give me a sec. So what I did was, you can kind of see it at the top here. So like this is a trim sheet I was working on, right? So I have the color data in here. Let me just, okay, that's horrible. I'm like struggling to teach and demonstrate. Anyway, so I have a bunch of different, I have 3 different maps, right? I have a color map, which is painted colors, and then I have a roughness map, right? And that's the shininess, and then I have a bump map that I did, which is the bump. And yeah, are you still painting your textures in Blender? Yeah, that's exactly how I did it. So like, I'll just give you a brief example. So if I take like this bump map, I edit the model, texture paint, let's say I go to white. You can kind of see like it, and then I'll switch the other one to black. You can get a better idea of how it looks. So yeah, it's, are you doing like height map to bump? I'm just doing, yeah, I have like the bump map, which feeds into the height of the bump node, which feeds into the normal of the principled BSDF. And then I'm gonna undo, because I don't want to undo that. But yeah, essentially I just use texture painting, like the default Blender texture paint. But I just create these brushes with texture. Come down here, I go to like clouds or something. And then from here I adjust like the opacity of it and stuff. So like right now I'm affecting like the roughness map, right? Yeah, it's a cool technique, to be honest. Like it's a bit of work, but I find it surprisingly enjoyable. Like it's just chilling to me to texture it like that. But yeah, unfortunately, like a lot of these textures before I figured out these techniques were just, yeah, it's stretched, and it's, yeah, a lot of reworking to be done. But this wooden fence came out alright to an extent. Let me do that other camera, and I'll show you. Wow, you know what would help? If I turned off, if I killed the lights here. Just turn that to 0. Yeah. Starting to use the UCU paint add-on to make more complex layered materials. Have you used that? Or have you seen that? I have seen it. Like, I have, but I have not experimented with it at this point because part of me is lazy, and part of me is like, well, I'm already so deep into my process that I feel like it would probably help. It would probably help, but yeah, I haven't spent too much time on it, to be honest. So I don't really have any experience with that, and I just lost my view. Lost my view. Oh, I know why, because it killed the sun. Put that back. But yeah, like, I don't know, I just like painting it, like hand painting it. It's, how is that add-on, by the way? I thought I had a better example to show. Or maybe I just need a better light. Where's the fence? This one, here we go. So yeah, like that's the color map of it. And then you can see the texture I used was this pseudo trim sheet that I was using, so you could essentially just take that square and then you can just shift it over, and you'll get like shifted over properly, and you'll get different varieties, right? This wasn't really permanent, this is more of just like a testing kind of thing, so oh yeah, good point. So this is something I learned. Should the color space of texture images, like bump and normal maps, be set to non-color, while only the base color should be using sRGB? Yes, good. That's a really good point, and I did not take that into account on this texture, but I did on the on those walls that I did. You'd think, you know, you'd think having organized all the assets, I'd know where everything is, but no, I don't. But yeah, if memory serves me right, which it doesn't. Yeah, you're right though. These should be non-color. I don't know why, like, well, I sort of have an idea, but yeah, they appear, they, yeah, they look better with non-colors. That's a, I'm glad you mentioned that. It's a good reminder for me to change that. At the most basic level, it gives you Photoshop style layers with blend modes and masks, so you can work a little smarter. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but does that create like separate layers of like I don't know, this is like base, like this is layer 0, this would be layer 1? It's like, yeah, okay, I feel you on that. I'm trying to avoid that. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about that technique. That's actually a really fucking sick technique. I'm just trying to keep it simplified to where like each model will have color maps, roughness maps, and then bump maps. You feel me? Like that's what I'm aiming for. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the future I'd probably start learning to use that, because that does sound, oh, I know why it's fucking lagging. There we go. Excuse my language. Because I have this damn, yeah, this is the this is the nature pack that I did previously. So this is only color mapping. There's like no bump mapping, no roughness or anything like that. So yeah, I forgot to turn this thing off. That's why it was lagging so much. So I'm just gonna turn that off. Now when I go to my scene, it should be better. Yeah, there we go. So then you just, okay, then you bake the result out into those maps when you're ready. Oh shit, okay. I'm learning Blender too, so learned it non-color. Oh yeah, okay, I feel you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's actually a really good reminder, because I can't. And these are my paintings I did. Oh yeah, I'm so proud of these. But yeah, no, I picked up on that like, I don't know, like half a year. No, not half. Like maybe a couple months back. I noticed that when I set it to non-color, like these textures popped, like the bumpness and the roughness looked better. So I have to keep that in mind. Maybe I did it here. Yeah, I did it for this one for sure. If I go to sRGB, it kind of look. Yeah, you see, like that's. You see how it just looks all like blurry and ugly? If I go to non-color, it becomes like. I don't know. It just looks cooler. But yeah, no, it's yeah, this is the demo scene. It's not much to it, to be honest. Like it's not really that exciting, but it's just something to give me an idea of how everything looks together, right? And I also did this, yeah, I already explained this, but this camera effect, just because, well, I can give you a good example. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just set it to always. So, like, check this out. Maybe I'll use the other camera. The one with the light. Yeah, so check this out, like, maybe I'll just, oh, whatever. Like struggling so much right now. I'll just point the light at it so you can kind of see it. Yeah, so like when I turn this pixel thing off, it looks alright, you know, it looks whatever. When I turn it on, you get this like banding like effect. How long have you been working on this project? Too long, my friend. I've been working on this thing for too long. I'm actually coming up to like a year now, I think. Coming November, December-ish. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of learning, but honestly, it's been a lot of fun to kind of push myself to, you know, to pick up like a, you know, to learn something, you know, to get out of my comfort zone a bit. Because I'll be the first to tell you, like, this stuff isn't like, this isn't like what I would, normally be doing, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know, I guess it was just at the time I was playing that Dark and Darker game, and you know, you're dungeon crawling, and I'm like, man, this stuff looks so cool. So you know, I guess I am a bit into like the dungeon crawling stuff, but been relatively new for me. A year, just about, maybe I don't know, 7 to 8 months or so, like that. But yeah, no, it's been fun, man. It's been awesome. Like, you just learn so much just by constantly making things, and like, you know, learning how to use those texture painting tools. And I was talking about my reference sheet I have. I don't have the means to show it on screen right now, but I'll figure it out for next stream. But yeah, it's so weird. This project has honestly like changed my mentality. Like, anytime I'm playing a video game or going for a walk, it's like they're a few months old, but they show the vibe. Hey, I appreciate it, man. But yeah, this stuff changes me, man. It's like, now I'm like, I had like another demo area I could show. It's not really a demo area. It's more like just like, yeah, it's nothing special, but yeah, like I was saying, like just walking around, and you know, if I'm watching a YouTube video or something, like I'll just pause it and like, excuse me, and I just analyze, like, okay, how many bars is that in between? Like, how tall is that proportion wise? And it's like, to cut it short, I think I've gone crazy because of this project. But it's fun, you know, it's fun stuff. Like, I enjoy this whole thing. So, and in case you're wondering, there's no oh, how did I create the pixelated filter? Oh, I can show you that. Let me find it again. It's in Compositor. So yeah, this was if I just zoom in here so you can see. So you have, I put a couple glare nodes. Like, those aren't really relevant to the pixel thing, but essentially all you do is go render layer, view layer, put into pixelate. I'll show you. I'll just show you as is, so you can get an idea of how it looks. Right. So like you can see, if I turn down the pixelate, it actually, you know, like you can kind of see what I'm saying, right? Like if I move the slider around, like I keep it at 4 because I feel like that looks pretty good. So you go render layers to pixelate, pixelate to posterize or posterize. I just put it at 70, and it gives you that 8-bit. Again, I'm not using the right terms, but that like old retro look. But I didn't want it to kill too much of the detail, so I put it up to like 70, I think. And it kind of gives you these bands like in the light. And then from there you just pop it into, I just put it into like glare, and then like, so, and my glare node, I have 2 glare nodes. One is set to bloom, one is set to streaks, and then from there you just pop it into the composite. So it's not too much, to be honest. Like it's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 nodes, right? You can ignore that value. That wasn't used for anything. So yeah, it's a pretty simple setup, but honestly, like the results are fucking sick. Like, I mean, obviously you kind of have to texture your assets too. Let me turn off that. You have to texture your assets too, otherwise it might not look as good. Let's see if I can find an example here. Untextured thing. Yeah, so like these bricks, like these aren't textured at all, so it doesn't really pop, doesn't really show the detail. But these crates and these, like just about everything else in the scene is like, it's kind of textured. So, and if you're wondering what that little ball of light is, that's actually I can just show you quick. So on my camera here, I have actually like a what do you call, like a cone light. And so I do that just so I can point, I parented that to the camera, hit numpad 0, and then I go to view, where is it? It's in, yeah, okay, sorry. I go to the view tab, navigation, and then I do walk navigation. I just hotkeyed it to like shift F, so. But yeah, it gives me a little bit more, I don't know what the term is. It gives me a different method of looking around and just seeing how the models look. So even without the light, like I'll just turn off the light and yeah. And the pixel effect, like I don't really. Did you create the textures by yourself, like wall textures, floor? Yeah, actually, I'll just show you right here. Where are my textures? So like I just take a plane. Like I'll give you an example. I'll just do it on this one. So I take a plane, select it all, tab into texture paint mode. Make sure I have my brush. I go to texture. I'll just start from scratch. I go new, and then I go to this, which brings up the texture tab. And before I was just going with you can go to like a bunch of them, right? Cloud, like they're all a bunch of different types of textures you can do. See how it's kind of smearing? Like it's how it's like linear. So what I'll do is texture, rake, random, view plane, random. And then it kind of spins it around as I texture it. And then just play with your fall off. I go to constant, so if I do like a circle, like you see like these, like if I go fall off, like smooth, kind of like blends in, right? But I keep it on constant for the most part. And the way I manipulate it is I control the strength. So the strength up here, I just go shift F, right? And that lets me kind of blend it in like that a little bit better. And then, from there you can hit N, the side tab, go to tool. And then if you have like a color palette, load it up. And just kind of go from there. And then you can use like a bunch of these settings. Like I'll show you like marble, right? We can go to like, I just hold control and I scroll through. And it gives you like a bunch of these different, well, they don't look that different, but there's a lot of variety. Like I'll show you in the, if I go to wood, right, I can go to like rings, bands, and again, it should be, I don't know why it's not twisting, but whatever. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, that's the gist of it. And then from there, yeah, it's like you can see that crackling stuff, so I'll go like clouds. Yeah, there we go. Voronoi, crackle, put it to grayscale. So now it's like, I have to select it again. Yeah, so you can see like, well, let me put it to, let me just make it bigger. Like that. Like, if I want to do dirt, that would be something like that. I'm so impressed with your textures, especially because you're painting them all in Blender. For my game, I'm grabbing a lot of photo textures and then mapping my UVs onto them. Hey man, whatever works for you. Like I was thinking about that, to be honest. Like I was thinking about what you described, taking photos and then just what do you call it, downscaling them so they become pixelated. But again, this is, I guess, my own character flaw, if you want to call it that, but like I don't like jumping between different programs and different programs, you feel me? Like I prefer to just stay in one program. Okay, I model and I texture, like just like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, honestly, whatever works for you, like whatever whatever floats your boat, yeah, by all means. I don't know, it's weird. Like there's something like addicting about like just like you go to stroke, make a line, you click, hold Alt to make a straight line kind of thing, and then you just play with the opacity, right? And like you can make little like designs and stuff like that. Sometimes you can even go X, Y, Z, like these mirror modifiers. So yeah, I know this isn't like the best example. It's like a weird color, but like that's essentially how I would do like carpets, right? Not that I want to do that one, but a good example of that was actually this coffin, right? So it's like upside down. But yeah, I basically just took the texture. Well, there's a bit more to it going on here, but yeah, the reason I did half these textures, like, look, this is so much like wasted space, right? This is why I wanna. You are a talented artist. Oh man, thank you. That means a lot, to be honest. Like that really means a lot. I've not studied, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and you know, people are like, there's this game developer method, you know, that, can I say Nintendo? Like, I don't know, like, yeah, that Nintendo does, or like, you know, some, I don't know, Konami or something, but they're like, they save up on modeling space or on UV textures by just cutting the model in half and then mirroring it, you feel me? So anyway, it's not really relevant, but that is how I did these coffins and treasure chests and stuff like that. A lot of these designs were just mirrored, and then let me just make it full screen. Yeah, so they're mirrored, and then you just go stroke, you go like, what do I use? Airbrush, right? I like airbrush, but yeah. And then, you know, you just go through the settings. You use Unreal as well? No, actually, I have not developed. Well, wait. I've used a bit of Godot. I've used a little bit of Godot, to be honest, but previous to that, I guess you can't really call it game development, but making things in Dreams, that Dreams game for PS4. So no, I mean, honestly, no. I've never used Unity or Unreal. And if I were to make this into a game, which I sort of plan to, I kind of want to do it in Godot, because I don't know, I just feel like it would be I've heard good things about that engine. You know, if you're making like a small scale little 3D game or something like that, then. But yeah, I no hate on, you know, anyone's game engine or, you know, choice of whatever they want to do. By all means, you know, a game is a game. If it's fun, right? Even though this is not a game, and this can be not fun sometimes. But yeah, no, it's been quite an experience, to be honest. Like, to be quite honest with you guys, like, just tackling this project, and like, yeah, I was fighting with it for so long, but at the end of the day, you know, it's taught me quite a lot, and you know, I'm really glad that I pushed myself to you know, to do something I wasn't really, like, I mean, you know, to push myself to something that I'm not, like, you know, get out of my comfort zone. Like, that's the best way to put it. You know, I pushed myself to get out of my comfort zone, and here I am making fences and rails that may or may not fit in a dungeon theme. So it's all right. You good with Blender? I have to. I really appreciate that, man. Like, I wouldn't say I'm that good with Blender. I mean, I've only been at this for a few years, but where did you learn about that overhead vector organization method? Oh, this, like the top-down view thing. I didn't learn it from anywhere. I kind of just. Do I have an example of my old? Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so this actually looked like this for a sec. Let me just. I know this is kind of weird, but I gotta find my. I have like a bunch of streaming bumpers, right? When I take a break, which, by the way, I will be. I gotta find. Yeah, it's kind of set to random, so I'm just gonna be cycling through a bunch of these. Yeah, so it kind of just used to look like this. Everything was just scattered in like one area. Let's see if I can find it. Man, it's so weird. You'd think, yeah, okay, no, that was recent. You'd think I'd have like a list of these things. This is fairly recent. I know I have it here somewhere. Just one moment. It's in here, I swear. But like the old method was just to put everything in one scene. You know what I mean? Like the demo scene. And it was hard to keep track of everything. Where the hell is it? It's gotta be here. For real. It's gotta be here. But essentially, it was just hard to keep track of everything. I'm like, I have no idea what assets need to be worked on, and what, what I should be paying attention to. Man, there's a lot of renders to go through. That's not what I'm trying to talk about. Okay, oh, that was the Godot game. That was the little game I was testing around in Godot. But I swear it's here. It's gotta be here. Yes, this. Okay, here we go. This is how I was organizing everything. You know what I mean? And it's just hard to keep track of everything. It's like I have no idea if, if I need to do more chairs, more swords, or anything like that. So yeah. So anyway, what I did here was, took me a couple streams. Like, if you, like, I'm not advertising, but if you go back a couple of my streams, you'll see me just organizing all this stuff. So I basically broke it down, like, with a bit of reading into modular versus hero assets, right? So hero assets are the stuff that the player would usually just see up close, right? So they would have what I call just their own textures, like their own, I know that's a shitty example, but like, they don't use trim sheets, right? Excuse me. And so that was actually the old method of how I was doing all these textures. Like, okay, I'll just do one separate texture, right? Like text fountain per model. And I decided when I wanted to do like environmental design, I'm like, well, that's not gonna fly because that's, I don't know, I guess it's from watching like YouTube videos or learning, but people mentioned it's like you should be using trim sheets. Or if I can back it up a little bit here. So, or not. Where is my, oh no. These are all, I gotta organize this stuff better, man. Like, these are all, yeah, just give me one moment here. Let me just put this into the scene. So these, right, like, I know I'm bad at explaining, I'm like struggling to explain, but essentially, so I learned about texture atlases. And texture atlases, like, so this is the grass, for example, like these blades of grass that are these, right? These blades of grass. So instead of having one texture per model, I learned that you could actually do what's called a texture atlas. So you take one sheet, one texture, and you apply 9 different textures to it. You know what I mean? And so using that knowledge, not my knowledge, just through YouTube videos and stuff, I eventually learned about something called trim sheets. And trim sheets, trim sheets, right? So I learned about what trim sheets are for. So like if you look at like any big open world game, like Breath of the Wild or like Skyrim or something, I think they use trim sheets. And so like, and that's why I was categorizing all this. So I'm like, okay, I want wood objects, stone objects, and metal objects. And so I would have to create, well, I was practicing, but like, okay, there's going to be a trim sheet for stone, a trim sheet for wood, a trim sheet for metal. So that way, all these, like, I know they're not textured, but they'll have a consistent texture to them. And so all I did basically was just kind of jot down a bunch of notes, and I'm like, okay, what do I have? Like, I have floorboards, so I categorize those as floors. These are just, what do you call it? Just text, like just random text that I wrote, you know what I mean? And so like if you go back a few streams, oh, well, come on, dog, I'm not big brain, no, not at all. This is just a necessity to prevent insanity, if that makes sense, because what I showed you before, keeping all of these into, because like I have so many variations, like these aren't even finished models. These are just little tests that I was doing. And so like just to keep track of everything, I'm like, okay, well, I need to make boxes within boxes within boxes. And so all I did basically was just take a floor plane and I locked it so I can't accidentally move it. And then I basically went, okay, I got wood, stone, and metal. Wood, stone, metal. Wood, stone, metal. And then I just started piling like objects into it that I was working on. And so it a lot of it is just like, you know, copy paste. Like it's not meant to be finalized just yet, right? But it honestly helps with like with when I eventually get to the trim sheets. I'll be like, okay, well now I know I have this, like you know, like this. There's an example I gave at the beginning of the stream. So this model, like this is all just one texture, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna do. I'm still. I know your system is awesome because my stuff is all in one scene and it's a mess. So I'm still. Hey, by all means, you want to steal this workflow, man? By all means. Like all I'm getting at is like, I don't want to do one unique texture pillar for each pillar that I make, you know, because if I'm building, let's just say for example, a stone dungeon, then I don't know, maybe one day I used a different color palette or a different brush, and it kind of it doesn't gel, it doesn't look consistent. But by using trim sheets, not only does it give your texture your model a little bit more detail, it also kind of gives you that consistency to it, you know what I mean? Modular kits for the environment took so long, I can feel it, because I'm working on my first modular kit as well for a village environment. Bro, respect. Yeah, all the best, man, all the best. Like, this stuff is not... Again, I don't really have, like, a 3D background, right? I'm just a guy who just got interested into this. But one piece of advice I can give is to break up the model, right? Like this actually just started as this model, and like I can give you a quick example of how I made the curve, if you care to watch, I guess. But let me just duplicate that out so I don't screw up my progress. But yeah, like essentially, like if you don't organize your assets, it's incredibly hard to keep track of everything. And remember, like using references, like again, I'll post up my reference sheet when I get time. But by using references, you can get an idea of like, okay, there's straight sections of railing, but they also curve up, like on stairs, or they curve around. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit. I'll show you with this model because this is a little bit easier for me to show. So all I do, I'm just gonna duplicate this out, and I'll just isolate this. So all I did was I copied this, moved it over. Remember, it's on a grid, so it should be equally spaced. Rotated it 90 degrees. It came like that. So you see like something like that, right? You get what I'm saying? Like it's just like if this is lined up, this is a little bit offset, and then here's the easiest thing. You just join them. Control J, tab into edit mode, unselect everything, select these faces, and I go edge, bridge, edge loops. Select these two, edge, bridge, edge loops, and before you know it, bam, you got your curved piece right there. But yeah, no, like this stuff is like incredibly time consuming. Like and that's why, you know, it's part of the fun, to be honest. Like part of the fun is just learning and observing things like on, you know, your references or other games, and just adapting it to your workflow, or I guess in your case, watching some guy ramble and then stealing his workflow. So hey, by all means. And this was the old style I was doing before I was just in a rush. I was like, I want to get this done, I want to get it done, but it is very important to snap while making modular assets. I'm always like picky about, like you may see when I'm working on these, I'll give you an example. Like if it's not lined up on that grid, it bugs me a lot, because like you said, with modular assets, like it has to be, you know, on a grid, you know, things should snap together and stuff like that. And yeah, there's no actual monsters that I'm working on. It's just these mimic chests I was trying to make, but yeah, it's okay. I gotta head to bed. Always love checking out your stream. See you later. Good luck. Happy modeling. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm actually gonna take a quick break too. I've been rambling and rambling, so I'm gonna take just a 10-minute break. So I'm gonna play those bumpers again with audio this time, and I'll be back in a bit. Yeah, I'll be back in 10. I forgot. I don't know if I said that. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Starting now. it's me again. Alright, I'm back. Let's continue this project of mine. I'm just gonna play some actual music because just kind of want to listen to something now. So I'm gonna pause the ambience and I'm gonna put on some other music. Just play sound effects. Sound effects. Yeah, this is R-Type Leo.
3, 2, 1, let's go. 2, 1. Let's go.
Yeah, that's good.
Three, two, one. Let's go.
Give me one sec. Let me just look back at one thing here. I gotta look back at my year mix because I did. Yeah, so that was
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess Christmas 2020. So yeah, around end of 2020, I've been learning 3D. It's only like 4 years, I would say. But that's not like, it's not 4 whole years. It's more like just on and off throughout the 4 years. Any normal person would have just gave you that number off the top of their head, not have to look at the whole 2 years. I'd say about 4-ish years. What about you? How long have you been doing this?
3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Oh, is it? Oh, my bad. Like, it's kind of, yeah, my bad, man. My bad. It's kind of, I have them like turned down on these headphones and turned off on YouTube. Let me know if that's much better. Hope it's not like overwhelming. Like trying to talk over it. You know what? Let me just cut the music. Let me just go back to the ambience. I just we're trying to talk over this loud music. Alright, real quick, is that alright? I'm just playing that ambience again, so if that's hilarious. I'm like talking over such loud music, man. Like, to me, it's completely fine. No, I'm chilling, I'm just listening to these tunes, but really, I'm just like blaring them out to everyone. Oh man, my bad, my bad. Yeah, I'll just go back to the ambient. It's kind of annoying sometimes with the music, so I have to keep stopping what I'm doing and then switching the music out, and yeah, I'll just keep it on this ambience. Yeah, I like, my bad. I really didn't mean to do that. I just. Oh, okay, yeah. Let me repeat. I'm sorry. It's just only me, only someone like me could do something so ignorant like that. I've been I've been doing 3D for about 4 years now or so. Like the end of 2020, I think, is when I started getting really into it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not 4 years consistently. It's more like just on and off in the last 4 years. So yeah, I'd say about 4-ish years of doing 3D. So. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, what about you? How long have you been at this for? Oh damn, you've been doing this for 5 years, eh? So let me ask you, what got you into this? Like, what got you into the whole, like, did you go to school for that, or was it just something you were interested in? Oh, you were so bad at studying, eh? Oh, I feel that, man. Well, you wanted to be an artist, oh. Well, nothing's stopping you now, I suppose. Or, I mean, I guess if you've been at this for 5 years, I guess maybe you technically are an artist now. So, like, what did you... Like, what got you into 3D, though? Like, were you... I don't know, did you do, like, the donut tutorial? Or did you want to, like, model a car? Or, like... Oh, you're in the office, dog. You should be... Shouldn't be talking to me, then, if you're in the office. All good, man. All good. Okay, I think I'm good on these wood fence wall things. So I'm gonna move on to pillars. Let's work on pillars. Oh man, no, I feel that. Yeah, nothing is worse than being dead tired and going into work, than having to be productive, but it is what it is. So, tell me about that village modular kit that you're working on. Was that like something you're doing that solo, or are you working with like a group of people on that? Oh, so you did study 3D at a private institute. Okay, okay. And you use Blender, I'm assuming, or was that like Maya or I don't know the other ones. Cinema 4D or something? Yeah, okay, so I take it you did start with Blender then. Oh, okay, so Blender for modeling and Substance Painter for texturing? Okay. I've heard good things about Substance Painter, like especially for making what are those things called, PBR materials, I think. I don't know what they stand for. Those photo be realistic. I honestly I don't know what they stand for, but I've heard good things about Substance Painter. Oh, you just recently started Substance Painter. Okay. Are you doing like hand painted stuff, or is it all like procedural textures? Okay, I think these pillars should be a little bit less involved to make, so this should be hopefully a little bit quicker to go through. I'm kind of just talking to myself. Let's see. Oh, damn. So your water, okay, so your village environment, you want to make it look watercolored stylized, eh? Oh, shit. You got any examples, like a game example of like what a good watercolor would be? Like the only thing I can think of would be, I don't know, I guess Breath of the Wild, like Zelda Breath of the Wild, or maybe Skyward Sword, something like that. Yeah, how's the project coming for you? Created around hundreds of assets for your village environment. Holy crap, man. I mean, yeah, holy crap, like that's a lot to be honest. Do you have any like photos or like videos of it online or like on a YouTube channel or is this all like a like proprietary thing? Working solo right now, hey? Oh, I hear that, man. But to create like hundreds of assets by yourself. Oh, okay, yeah, no worries, no worries. I was just curious, that's all. But yeah, I take it so you're doing like houses and stairs and walls and stuff like that too, or are you doing something else with your village pack? Are you doing like rocks, trees, grass and stuff like that, or just the building stuff? Shops, walls, windows, pillars, tower. Damn, bro. Respect, man, respect. That stuff's not easy. So are you doing it for like a game that you're making, or is, oh yeah, I guess you said you do an you work in Unreal, right? So I imagine it's probably for a game. I'm on my notice period at the office. My last day in this office is 26th of September. Oh shit. I hope it's all good for you, man. I mean, yeah, you never know. Maybe this gives you more time to work on your project, right? So I wanted to give myself some tasks. That's how I got the idea to start a village. Oh yeah, I feel that. I feel that. That's actually kind of smart too. You know what I mean? Kind of just keep yourself busy and keep yourself like occupied, right? And you know, you never know. I mean, you know, maybe when you complete your environment and put it up on like itch or you know some 3D asset store and yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is a good thing. You know what I mean? There's only one way to find out, just by doing it. Yeah, always learning new things. Always, hey man, that's the key. You learn something new every day, and you'd be surprised at how much you can learn like in a year's time. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I was saying before, like I don't know, I probably sound like a broken record, but pursuit of knowledge is powerful, man. And in my opinion, I mean, it's you know it's nice. It's good to learn new things. It's good to. I'll use ZBrush as well for my village environment. I will learn ZBrush as well with it. Oh shit! You're gonna do sculpting, texture. Yeah, okay, you're using like a multitude of programs. Yeah, but no, honestly, man, like respect to that. You know, just push yourself to learn. You know, new programs. Kind of just challenge yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? No, I honestly respect that a lot because, hey, man, I'm in the same boat. You know, I'm just grinding away at my little project and just trying to push myself day, but you know, not like intensely, but you know, just push myself day by day to learn something. But no, I legit think like just the pursuit of knowledge is where you really find like I wouldn't say success. Like, you know, no, success is never guaranteed, but like that's where you really grow as a creator, as an artist, as a person, I suppose. You know, it's just good. You know, give me some tips so I can start. Give me some tips so I can start my YouTube channel as well. Like until I. Oh man, like there's nothing to it. You just pick a username. You just. Honestly, like in terms of advice I could give would just be start the channel. Like I guess maybe you have a channel, or I guess you're probably using a personal account or something. But you know, come up with a name. You know, like a. Doesn't have to be like a company name. Could just be like your artist name. Just come up with that. Make a YouTube channel for it, and then just from my experience, like as you can see, you know, someone who's been at this for a bit, and you know, I don't really have a huge following, but don't let the numbers, like the metrics, get to you. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, how come I don't have this many subscribers? You know, like I put in this much effort into my videos. It should be, you know, like all that stuff. I wouldn't worry about any of that because that shit just drags you down. What I would focus on is just you know, like I was saying earlier, just I have a YouTube channel already, but I'd not post for a long time. Oh, that's all good, man. I've gone months, like many months without posting anything. So yeah, if you have an old channel, I guess it depends. I guess if you've got, again, like I'm no expert on this, but if you got videos that don't relate to your field, or if you don't feel like they fit the channel, then you can unlist them. I wouldn't delete them, but you could. But yeah, what I'm saying is like YouTube is not guaranteed. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how much effort you put into something or how good you think it is. It's not guaranteed that you're gonna get the results that you want. Likes and followers and all that. But what keeps me going, like in my personal opinion, is just the pursuit of. I have an idea, I have a goal in mind, not like a subscriber goal. I mean, like I want to work on my little story, and so that's what keeps me kind of motivated. You know what I mean? I just take it a day at a time. That this day I'm gonna learn this, or the next day I want to learn something new. But that's what should drive a person. Like I can't speak for everyone, but that's what drives me to do this channel, like to keep doing these. Like the reason I'm doing these streams is not for views or to show people that oh, look what I can do. It's actually just to force myself to dedicate a chunk of time in the day to actually work on these models. I'll be the first to admit, if I'm not streaming, I'll probably just be watching YouTube or something. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't work on this if it wasn't for. I mean, I would, but not as diligently. So my advice, yeah, just in general, just ignore the metrics, ignore the analytics, how well the channel's doing and stuff like that. I would say just focus on what you're doing right now, man. You have a goal, you have the village kit you want to work on. Just focus on doing that. And I think the guy previously in here, Derek, was saying that he uses Blender for video editing, so that could be a fun thing to learn. Oh yeah, it's as good as it's gonna get, I think. Maybe I'll just get rid of these. But yeah, no, honestly, I think YouTube's a lot of fun, to be honest. Like, you meet different people, you come across all these different types of creators, and like, I guess, like, you guys are, like, an example. Yeah, dude, you get it, just turn on the stream, doing what you do, just regardless if people are watching or not, and then, yeah, chit-chat with people, get to know, like, what they do, what you do, kind of thing, and before you know it, a couple hours go by, and you're like, hey, that was kind of fun. But I'll admit, I used to get kind of caught up on my analytics. I used to worry about it, but nah. Ever since I started not thinking about that, I feel like I've been enjoying YouTube a lot more. What other tips can I give? There's a website called Canva, and I use Canva to make my banners and stuff for my YouTube channel, so that's a good website to use if you're looking for like graphic design. Oh yeah, you've been in that office for a bit, eh? 3.5 years. Still a good chunk of time though to dedicate to a career, to be honest. Alright, so that's done. Oh, so you did work as a graphic designer, hey? Okay, okay, so you probably have a bit of experience with that then. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could give you better advice for the whole YouTube thing, but like honestly, I'm very casual about this, so like there's not a whole lot of real advice I could give to like, you know, to grow the channel or to reach a bigger audience or stuff like that. Just my honest advice, if you do it for you, if you do it for fun, you'll do it forever. No, I mean, maybe not forever, but it's easier this way to just focus on what you want to do for fun and sharing that passion with people. Again, you know, maybe your goals are different. Maybe you do care a lot about, you know, analytics and stuff. What's my story? Let's see. So like back in like 2016, I found how did this start? This is kind of interesting. I found this channel because I used to browse YouTube like on my PlayStation, and like I found this channel called Dust. I think it was called Dust. It was like CG something, CG Bros or Dust or something like that. And it was just a bunch of 3D animated videos, like shorts that, you know, like for film festivals or like some artists made. So I used to watch some of those, and you know, they were cool. And then I stumbled upon the donut guy, you know, the Blender Guru. So I tried to make a donut and follow his tutorials, and I kind of gave up because it was way too difficult, way too, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I think his name is Blender Guru, but everyone knows him as like the donut guy, right? So I tried that. I tried to do the donut, and it worked for a bit, but I kind of just lost interest in it. And then fast forward to 2020, so like around December like of 2020, I'm trying to think, like yeah, okay, so after like 2016 donut, okay, I give up. 2017, 2018 rolls around, and I get that Dreams game for PS4. And that Dreams game was all about, you know, sculpting and painting and making your little games. So I'd play around with that for a bit. And then from there, like, I kind of noticed, like, Dreams is fun, but I'm all contained to the PlayStation, right? So I wanted to get back into Blender, now that I understood shapes and stuff a little bit better. And so I started practicing and practicing again in Blender, and then just following little tutorials, and kind of just snowballed into, I think around that time I came up with the idea for my little story, like the Astronite thing. And ever since then, all I could ever think of was like, I want to make a robot spaceman. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna have like a suit of armor, a sword, and a shield, and have like cool weapons, and yeah, I was overwhelmed because there's no way I could make that, but I just chipped away at it. You know, yeah, my story's kind of weird, but like I basically just grew up on a bunch of video games. I wanted to make my own character that was inspired by those video games. And I kind of just slowly but surely just chipped away at it, and eventually here I am, like 4 years later, working on dungeon assets. Like, yeah, it's a weird story. Like, I didn't have any education in this or like any training. I kind of just stumbled into this hobby, to be honest. Like, if it wasn't for me looking at those CG videos on my PlayStation, I probably wouldn't have gotten into 3D. Because I'll admit, like, excuse me, like, it looks hard to do. It's so complicated. You know, like, there's modeling, there's texturing, there's rigging, there's animating. Like, yeah, that's kind of like the specialty I stuck with, because like I started with low poly, with T-pose, like, or A-pose, I started with low poly just because it made sense. Like it was kind of like appealing. I'm like, okay, that's just a cylinder and you make some cuts in it. But yeah, I just kept staying. Like I think I played around a bit with higher poly meshes, like with the donut stuff. But I don't know. I guess I grew up on these kind of games, right? Like, like Zelda, like, Ocarina of Time, and, Mega Man Legends and stuff like that. So I've always had, like, a soft spot in my heart for these kind of graphics. And yeah, here I am. You know what I mean? Like 4, 5-ish years later, and like, yeah, he's not. I'm happy with the character. I'm happy with how everything turned out, but part of me's just never truly done with working on this stuff. Like I'm never truly satisfied with what I make. There's always like, oh, I could refine that. I could change that now. I know more now, so I can do it better. But what's that saying? It's like doing something repeatedly and expecting different results is like insanity. Kind of feels like that, but yeah. That's kind of like my story, right? So I just grew up on a bunch of video games, and like I'll show you in the. Let me just pause this. So like a lot of these animations are like wrong thing. A lot of these animations that I've done. Let me just find like a good one. Like this was just me screwing around and trying to recreate some models from like an old Mega Man X game, you know what I mean? But let me just find a good, yeah, so like this I made in Dreams. This was like the little game I was making in Dreams. He's got like a double jump, he's got a dash, and sprints around like in a Mario game. So like that's like an influence. Like that's, yeah, so I'm trying, like, I guess this was I lost it. Yeah, so something like this, right? Like this was, I guess, inspired by like Mega Man games I grew up on. Like especially the 2D part, like this part. Like I wanted to recreate that feel, so. And then this, I guess, growing up on like games like Diablo and Dungeon Crawlers. Well, I never grew up on them, but like I did grow up on them, but my brothers were into those games, not really me. And this one, like this one especially, is like this one's near and dear to my heart. This is actually I didn't create these textures. These are all just textures from like an old Power Rangers game on Super Nintendo. And so like on this model I didn't make. Like this guy, I just bought this from Vertex Arcade, I think his name was. And like, yeah, it was basically just snowballed. I'm like, okay, here's a bunch of sprites from video games like Street Fighter, Power Rangers, Mega Man. And this this was just me attempting to recreate like a Power Rangers guy, like, you know what I mean. And so it kind of evolved, like, he's got like a pipe now for some reason, and we start bashing people with a pipe like in Streets of Rage. So like a lot of my work is just me trying to recreate those old video games that I grew up on. So like well, I guess I can play the music too. But yeah, my story's kind of weird, but basically just, I don't want to talk about this. The story's weird. It's basically just me trying to recreate the games I grew up playing and combining those into my own, those influences into my own character. Like, like this guy, right? Like I want to make him run around kind of like, Link from Ocarina, you know what I mean? Like I want him to dash like Mega Man, or like, shoot lasers from his wrist. But yeah, no, I mean, like, it's all just passion, like, you know what I mean? This is all just a work of like, oh, I want to see a character like this, so I'll make him. Yeah, no, I don't know, I just kind of played around with this as I don't know, I honestly, I don't know how to explain it. I just kind of, I just kind of wanted to make a robot spaceman. Like, it's as simple as I can say it. But it's awesome. I mean, like, same kind of similar thing with music too, right? Like, one day I just kind of I'll save the music thing for a different time. Like, it's not that important, but kind of the same premise. I just stumbled into it. I didn't really. Oh, thank you, man. You're doing great. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess when you grow up on like video games and stuff, you kind of just always have that influence in you. But that being said, like oh, thank you, keep it up. I'll admit though, like when I see people do like hyper realistic 3D or like fluid swims and stuff, like that stuff is so cool, man. Do I play any games these days? Yeah, this is kind of embarrassing, but I used to game a lot actually, like as a kid, like Halo, Mega Man, Zelda, Mario, but recently no. Like I've kind of put gaming off to the side because yeah, it's weird. If I'm not working on 3D, I'm working on music, and if I'm not working on music, I'm working on 3D, and it's kind of weird, but I want to make like this guy, like Astronaut. I want to make like an animation series or maybe a game out of it. So I want to do like 3D models, do the music, do the programming, but yeah, no, what was the last game I played? I'm like trying to think. I'm like, no, I'm drawing a blank to be honest. Like the last game I played was probably like I played Dark and Darker before, but that was like at a friend's house, so I don't know if you know that game, but it was like it's a cool game. It's like a FPS dungeon crawling game, and you go around collecting loot and then you fight other players and stuff like that. But no, honestly, I'm not much of a gamer these. Oh, there we go. Let me tell you something. Overwatch 1. Bro, I was obsessed with that game for like 4 or 5 years. Like legit. Yeah, that like Overwatch 1, like not 2. I played a bit of 2, but Overwatch 1 was like the game that me and the guys would play a lot. You ever played that game? Oh no, you never played it? Oh, all good, all good. It was a fun game while it lasted. Like I'm not gonna be all negative about it, but it was a really good game to be honest. It was kind of like, if I remember it right, 6v6. I'm currently playing Dead Island 2. Oh shit. Is that a good series, Dead Island? Last zombie game I got into was like Left 4 Dead, but no, that's an old ass game. How is Dead Island? Yeah, Left 4 Dead was dope. Left 4 Dead was like a really sick game, to be honest. I don't know, I don't know. Yeah, it's so good, eh? What do you do in that game? Like, is it like Left 4 Dead, where it's like get to the safe room and move to the next level, or is it more like Minecraft style, where you kind of just go around collecting stuff? Okay, okay. The whole city got infected, and you gotta save some people, do some tasks, and get some shit here to there. Okay, okay, okay. Is that like a co-op game? Like you play with your boys, or is that just like a single player game? Can play with the boys, but you play solo. I used to play Fortnite so much. Oh man, I I never really got into Fortnite to be honest, but I remember my cousin introduced it to me. Like this is like just to give you like context. This is back when Team Attack, like Friendly Fire, was still in the game. But like no, I think it was a pretty decent game to be honest. Really technical actually when you think about it. Like some of the plays I've seen, you know, dudes are like running around, like building all these stairs and walls, and like, yeah, it's a pretty decent game. I'm not gonna lie, like it's pretty dope. But no, my game, like Overwatch, Halo 2, like damn. I mean, these are old ass games, but like, yeah, those are my games to be honest. Those are the games I'm like fond of. Halo 3 was fucking sick too. Bro, I totally feel what you're saying on that. With friends and all, but, you know, boys grow up, so they got busy. No one wants to play these days. I feel that. I feel that, man. That's kind of what happened with us, to be honest, too. Like, you know, we all grew up. I wouldn't say grew up, but, like, let me put it this way. We can definitely just, you know, hop on a group chat, you know, like, go on a group voice call and, like, you know, catch up with each other, but there's something special about gaming out with the boys and just having a casual conversation. You know what I mean? There would be so many times we're playing Overwatch and like we're just talking about the day or something that happened to us and we're completely focused like on the game. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's fucking hype, man. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Your HR called you. Oh shit, man. Yeah, you should probably deal with that. Oh, that's sick. You're gonna go out for a movie, hey? It's almost about 2 hours, 40 minutes into this. I'm gonna take a little break, a 10-minute break, and then we'll see if I'm gonna continue this. So I'm just gonna take a break. I'll be back in 10, and then maybe I'll continue, or maybe I'll just save the rest of these for next time. We'll see, or maybe I'll just switch over to doing music or something. I'll be back in 10. Starting now. it's me. I'm back. It's coming close to 3 hours on the stream, so I think I'm gonna end it soon, but I'm gonna play around with some music first, just for fun. And then I'll end the stream. So I'm gonna switch gears, save this, and I already have FL open. So yeah, I'll just screw around with some music stuff for a little bit. I know it says 3D modeling in the title, but I don't know what to tell you. What to do? I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm just gonna look around and play around with some tracks. All right, that's good enough. It's like 3.5 hours of streaming. I'm gonna end this. I can't even speak right now. I'm gonna end the stream here. I'm gonna play one last song, and then call it quits because I'm tired. Yeah, it's kind of weird to jump from music to 3D. It kind of, I mean, it's possible. It's fun, but maybe I'll just stick to 3D and then do a separate music stream. Separate the two instead of trying to focus on music after my brain's already kind of exhausted. But I'm just gonna play one last track. This is a fun track. It's actually a remix, not something I made. It's just yeah. I was like, the hell was that? This isn't the version I want. I'm just gonna put the bump down. My bad. Whatever. I'm just gonna play this version. I'm gonna end this stream after it's done. So yeah, I don't want to do the whole advertisement thing. I'm just gonna say have a good one. Hope for the best for whatever projects you're working on. It was good chatting with you guys. Even though you guys left like hours ago. But I'm just gonna play this. I'm just gonna play this music, and then I'm gonna end the stream here. Peace.